Hello, in this video I am going to be discuss about the protective measurements against corrosion, or you can say the prevention against corrosion. So here are list of different processes. By using this we can protect the corrosion. Okay. First is suitable design and fabrication procedure, use of inhibitors, modification of the corrosive environment, use of protective coatings. So there are two types of coating: metallic coating and non-metallic coating, alloying of metals, and cathodic protection. In suitable design and fabrication procedure, the use of dissimilar metal contacts be prevented. This helps in preventing galvanic corrosion. The design procedure should also avoid the presence of cracks, sharp corners, and recesses should also be avoided as they give rise to the formation of stagnant area and accumulation of solids. Welded joints should be preferred over the riveted joint to prevent the stress corrosion. So, in this pipe, it is exactly 90 degree, and the corner which is a sharp. Okay, but when we bend that corner in this way, okay, the fluid is flowing continuously without any interruption. So less corrosion is take place at this corner. Okay, so by this way, if you change the design of some machines and elements, you can protect the corrosion by using the suitable design. Use of inhibitors. An inhibitor is a substance which is added in small quantity in the electrolyte to reduce the rate of corrosion. The inhibitors may be organic or inorganic, but they should be able to dissolve in the corroding medium. Moreover, they should be able to form a protective layer of some kind either at anodic or cathodic areas. It has been observed that chromates and phosphates are anodic inhibitors, whereas magnesium and calcium salts are cathodic inhibitors. The anodic inhibitors are used to prevent corrosion in radiators, steam boilers, and other containers. So you can see here, this is a image of the four-wheeler engines, okay, where the coolant which are flowing through the radiators. So this is a green coolant added with the water to avoid the corrosion in the pipe of the radiators. Modification of corrosive environment. The rate of corrosion may be greatly reduced by small changes in the corroding environment, that is, changes in composition, nature, and temperature. Since the rate of corrosion is usually an exponential function of the temperature, therefore, a small decrease in temperature causes an appreciable decrease in the rate of corrosion. The removal of dissolved gases also help in reducing the rate of corrosion. Use of protective coatings. So there are two types of coating: metallic coating and non-metallic coatings. So metallic coatings: electroplating, dipping, spraying, cladding, and cementation. In non-metallic coatings, first is paints and lacquering, plastic coatings, vitreous coating, oxide coatings, and chemical dip coatings. So let us see in details. for metallic coatings. First is electroplating. It is a process of depositing a very thin layer of metal coating on base metal by passing a direct current through an electrolyte solution containing some salt of coating metal. In this process, the component of base metal is made to act as a cathode, whereas the coating metal as an anode, and the solution containing some anode cathode salt of the coating metal. Now, direct current is passed for a known time to obtain the coating of desired electrolyte thickness. The commonly used metals which are used for protective coating are copper, nickel, silver, gold, chromium, cadmium and tungsten. Second, dipping. So there are two types of dipping coatings are there, galvanizing and tinning. In this process, the component to be coated is cleaned and then dipped in the bath of molten metal. The component is then taken out from the bath and then finished properly. The most common process of dipping are galvanizing, which is shown here on this nut, and tinning process, which is used for the tin metal. What is galvanizing? It is a process of providing a thin layer of zinc coating on iron and steel components by dipping them in bath of molten zinc. The galvanizing improves the resistance against corrosion due to atmosphere and water. Now tinning, it is a process of providing a very thin layer of tin coating on steel parts by dipping them in the bath of molten tin. Use in container means for storing oil, ghee and some chemicals. Spraying, it is a process of providing a thin coating by depositing an atomized metal on the surface of a metal. The most common examples of spraying are wire gun method and powder method. In wire gun method, the coating metal is melted by oxyacetylene flame. Now compressed air is used to spray the coating metal uniformly over the surface. Powder method, in which the coating metal is first powdered and then sucked from the chamber. The powder metal gets heated and it passes through the flame of blowpipe. The spraying has been successfully used for applying coatings of aluminum, brass, copper, zinc, tin, etc. So these are two examples of wire gun method and powder method material. Cladding. It is a process of providing a comparatively thicker layer of coating on the metal surface. The main objective of cladding is to produce a corrosion resistant surface. For example, aluminum alloys are used for cladding where a high corrosion resistance is required. So this is a part of cycle where the aluminum coating is there by using cladding. Cementation. It is a process of providing a thin layer of powder metal coating by heating the metal parts. The temperature to which the parts are heated is always more than the melting temperature of the coating metal. Ceradizing, chromizing, and colorizing are three methods of cementation. Ceradizing is a process of providing of zinc on steel parts. Chromizing, it is a process of providing a thin coating of chromium on the steel parts. And colorizing, it is a process of providing a thin coating of aluminum on steel parts. So these are three examples of three different processes. This is spheroidizing, this one is chromizing, and this is colorizing. Now let us see non-metallic coatings, in which first is paints and liquoring. This coating of paint or a liquor is provided on a metal surface to avoid its contact with the corrosive environment. The paint is a mixture of pigments, a drying oil, and a solvent thinner. We know that whenever a thin coating of paint is applied on any surface, the thinner evaporates from the painted surface and the drying oil gets oxidized, thus forming a dry pigment film. And the lacquer is a solution of resins and plasticizers with or without any pigments. When a thin coat of liquor is applied, it dries out quickly, thus leaving a very fine coating which does not allow the surface to conic in contact with the corrosive environment. So this is the example for paints and this one is the example for liquoring coatings. Plastic coatings. In this process, the metal part to be coated is cleaned and dipped in the bath containing hot liquid plastic, usually ethyl cellulose. After some time, the metal part is taken out of the bath. On cooling, the metal part gets a thick adherent film of the plastic. It will be interesting to know that the plastic coatings are essentially for steel parts like tools, shoes, and other components to protect them against rusting. So here this is an example, one pipes which is used under earth surface, so it must be coated with plastic coating. And in our freeze, the trays are coated with the plastics. Third one is vitreous coating. In this process, a coating of vitreous enamel powder is applied to any surface. The powder is fused on the surface by heating. It will be interesting to know that the vitreous enamels are glass-like materials having wide range of composition. The common example of vitreous enameling is known as glazing, which is provided as a protective coating on crockery, porcelain, stoneware, ceramics, etc., which are shown in this image. Oxide coatings. In this process, an oxide coating is provided on the metallic surface by immersing it in electrolyte bath of suitable composition. The oxide coating form on the metal surface acts as an anode. That's why this process is also termed as anodizing. The oxide coatings are provided on door and bathroom fittings of zinc and magnesium. They have also resistance against corrosion. So the hinge which is at the door and the bathroom components which are coated with oxide coatings. Fifth, chemical dip coatings. The metal to be coated is cleaned and dipped in the chemical solution in the same way as the plastic coating. So there are two types of coatings, chromatic coatings and phosphate coatings. In chromatic coatings, the metal to be coated is dipped in the solution of sodium dichromate and concentrated nitric acid. The metal parts are kept in solution for about 1 minute at room temperature and then taken out. Used for protection of zinc, aluminum, magnesium parts, etc. Phosphate coating. The metal to be coated is dipped in hot solution of manganese phosphate. The metal parts are kept in the solution for several minutes. Used for the protection of iron, steel, zinc, aluminum, tin parts, etc. So these are two examples, one from chromatic coatings, this one is, and this coating is known as phosphate coatings. Now one protective method is alloying of metals. Pure metals possesses greater resistance against corrosion, but they possess inadequate mechanical properties. Okay. So to achieve the required mechanical properties, we have to add the pure metal with some other metal, and that is known as alloy material. So moreover, the cost of production to obtain a pure metal is very high. The corrosion resistance of some metals may be increased by alloying them with suitable constituents. The alloying constituents are capable of thoroughly mixing up with the parent metal. Cathodic protection. An electrochemical type corrosion, a current flows from anode to cathode. Thus, a metal which acts as a cathode gains some weight or it is protected, and the metal which acts as an anode loses some weight. So it is known as the corrosion may be controlled by making the whole surface as cathodic with respect to some other metal which acts as an anode. This technique is known as cathode protection. Methods to protect the metal against corrosions. So there are two types: sacrificial anode method and external voltage method. In sacrificial anode method, the metal which acts as anode is known as sacrificial anode. This method may be adopted both for ferrous and non-ferrous metals. So in this figure A shows a mild steel pipe burned in the earth surface. Magnesium plate is connected to the pipe in order to prevent the corrosion of pipe. And in figure B, which shows a mild steel tank, the inner surface is likely to be corroded. In this case, a magnesium plate is also connected to the tank in order to prevent the corrosion of the tank. The magnesium plate acts as an anode and the water tank as cathode in the same way as that of the steel pipe. The anode metals after their corrosion are replaced. Second, external voltage method. So small external DC voltage is connected in such a way that the metal to be protected is made to act as a cathode. Figure shows the protection of mild steel pipe buried in the earth surface. The corrosion of this pipe may be prevented by connecting the positive terminal of the battery to the earth and the negative terminal to the pipe as shown in figure. The method is very useful for protection of ferrous structures such as steam boilers, condensers, oil and water storage tanks, etc. So this is about external voltage method, and today we discuss about the important prevention against the corrosion. Thank you very much for watching this video.